this life. Open your eyes and see the world below the seas. It's the wonder of God's creation that makes us believe. See you at the dive. See you at the dive.
Took us more than 3.5 hours to travel from Bangkok all the way from Manila. Bangkok is the Venice of the East due to its large number of canals, which are quite useful to beat the tropical heat of Thailand. The river is the best way to go around the city.
Okay everybody, here we are having a nice quiet ride in the boats. Here comes the bus, everybody. You know what I know the name of the channel? Hong Sheng Sheng. Something like that, alright? We'll try to write it down later, okay? But you see, this is equivalent to the jeepneys of Etsa Avenue in Manila, but it's Orlando. And you see how these guys park? Amazing, amazing. Actually, I don't know if he does everything with the rope and the engine, or they have boat crossings. Because the skillful of these guys is something really amazing. Now we have to get home because tomorrow we have to catch a, I don't know what means of transportation to go into another island where we're gonna dive. UNTV. Nice to meet you.
Aside from sightseeing, we also tasted Thai cuisine, which is well known for their spiciness. It's amazing how Thais put the right amount of flavors in the food. Sweet, sour, salty, bitter and spicy. That's why staying here is great, because the variety of Thai food you can try. As the UNTV team prepares for another adventure, we flew from Dong Nguyen, Bangkok to Hat Yai International Airport. The Adang Sea Divers arranged transportation from the airport going to Pak Bara Pier, where we need to ride a speedboat going to the heart of Thailand's oldest and largest marine parks, the Turatao National Marine Park. Upon reaching the island of Koh Lipe, we meet Chris, the owner of Adang Sea Divers. And as a UNTV dive team organized our gears, he gave us a quick tour to his Eco Lodge Diving Center. The center is a cozy bamboo bungalow with its own private balcony and garden. Here Chris shows us alternatives they use for plastic bottles.
At the Eco Lodge, we try to reduce the amount of plastic as possible so it doesn't go into our ocean. So we offer Trashiro bottles we use. So here we have water bottles and you can fill up the bottles at our dive center. And also we have a partnership around the island where you can get free refills. So you shouldn't have to buy any plastic bottles when you're staying here on the island. And then we also have carrier bags also, so if you go shopping or take away, then you shouldn't get any plastic bags when you're staying here. So we just try to reduce the amount of plastic that we use, and then also that goes into our oceans. So when we have better dive sites, to try and protect it as much as possible.
More than 20 dive sites await divers in Koh Lipe, but before coming over, you should check the availability of the dive sites.
So in Koh Lipe, we're open all year round, but the seasons change, so we're kind of on like 6-month seasons. So for 6 months the wind blows from the east, and then 6 months the wind blows from the west. So for the 6 months of the year, which we call it our high season, the wind comes from this direction, okay? So these sites over here are a little bit less accessible if it's windy. But then we have all these sites open, which we can go to for our higher season. because it's all protected from a dang island, which is our main island, which kind of protects all the dive sites.
Next in the house, dive instructor from Sweden, Robin, brief us on the 3 dives of the day.
Pretty much a small island, just like this, and we're dropping off on the behind of it. So we'll see how the current takes us. We move along with the current as much as possible. So we might do a half lap or a half lap like that. Or just follow and see whatever suits you guys under the water as well.
Koh Lipe Island, Thailand. Very nice. We had a wonderful dive yesterday. The water is starting to get a little bit green because the rain is starting also here, also in the Philippines, also in Brazil, by the way. Okay, so we're ready to rock and roll. They're waiting for us. See you at the dive, all right? Take it easy.
Better visibility, a lot of fish. I've never seen so many snappers and grunts and you name it. Even we had some jacks also going around. I saw this acropora coral they're very brittle, not so common. They looks like horns. Very, very nice. Also this crown of thorns starfish that it's really tricky in the coral reefs because they eat huge amount of coral. But they're lovely. The type they have here is this bright blue color that we don't see this in the Philippines. At least I haven't seen it in the Philippines.
Koh Lipe is the only island where tourists can stay inside Turatao National Park, Asia's oldest marine park that are still in good condition. The best part is the colorful soft corals that thrive in abundance in the granite pinnacles. Sightings of numerous sharks, whale sharks and manta rays are quite unpredictable, learned from my experience. Just stay close to your dive master because they are the best spotters and they know the perfect timing. We were not that lucky though to see the favorite dive spot of Koh Lipe, the Stone Age. It was closed down to give some time for the dive site to recover from the tourist and diving activities. For our second dive, they gave us second best alternative, the 8 Mile Rock.
And then in the south, down here, we have 8 Mile, which is one of the better sites, and it's the biggest chance to see whale sharks and manta rays. It's actually off the map, it's too far away, but it's 8 miles south of Koh Lipe, and it's an underwater pinnacle, and it starts at about 16 meters, and the bottom of the dive site's about 30-40 meters. So we have, on some sites we have hard coral, so the big boulder corals, fire coral, staghorn coral, Gorgonian fan coral.
Things can change drastically in 8 Mile Rock since it's a pinnacle in the middle of nowhere. It's just seawater all over around. There's no islands, no nothing. 30 meters, 30, 35 around this area is where they stay. I'm gonna take a look at your profile, your previous dives as well before you came here, and I'm gonna consider a little bit with my fellow instructor how to do this as good as possible for you guys, and safe, of course. So throughout the dives today, dive within your limits, listen to your computer, stay together, you know, all the safety stuff. You got this. Remember to drink a lot, equalize, warm up your ears a little bit so we don't have any problems with that. Any questions, just grab a hold of me throughout the day, and I'll do my best. All right, cool. Let's go dive, yeah?
8 Mile Rock consists of a pinnacle in the middle of the sea with the summit at 16 meters deep. And from there it slopes down to over 50 meters, so it's only for advanced divers.
There's a lot of plankton around. Actually, the visibility is not that good, but it evens up a lot because you see a lot of things. We saw a school of barracudas on our way down. There was a school of big batfish, about larger than this hat, like twice this hat or something like that. You're gonna see them in the video. Very friendly. Actually, they were swimming around with the batfish. They accompany us during all the dive. Beautiful. We went almost to 30 meters down there, and everybody was very carried away with the beauties of the place. We saw one big moray in this cave, and then I look around a little. On the other side of the rock there was another moray. Exactly, well, thick ones, huh? Very, very nice. And then you have pufferfish. We saw, or at least I saw, the largest lionfish I ever seen in my life. Man, it was a monster about this size. Actually, the shape of the body just changes with age. I never seen one so old and so big. So it looks a little bit like a grouper or something like that, with the typical arrange of the spines and the colors of a lionfish.
Huge giant groupers can be spotted hanging around the rocks, while the pinnacles are home for lionfish, scorpionfish, and moray eels found hiding in the cracks. Moray eels secrete mucus over their bodies for protection from germs that makes their body slimy. Even they look scary in appearance, but these shy fish are usually harmless to people except when threatened. After this, the other dive site that we will feature is called Taru, which has a beautiful rock formation on its surface.
My goodness, Robin, terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific, really nice dives. So
Yeah,
different, one and the other, huh?
Yeah, morning dive. I mean, I like that clear water
Yes.
throughout the whole dive. It was amazing. And the second dive, when we dropped down to 8 Mile, Jesus, that depth and school of batfish and stuff like that. Did you enjoy it? You were swimming with
the
them.
first dive has the water has this special hue of turquoise blue. It's very
in the
very,
morning, right?
Yeah, very specific. I haven't seen that very often in dives. you
Right.
know? And the second dive, that is what's the name of the second dive?
8 Mile. 8 Mile. Walk. Yeah.
When I jump into the water and see the water greenish, and I say, the visibility is not that good.
Yeah.
But what about the life that you find there?
Yeah, so much fish.
And you know what? It's not a coincidence. When you have this greenish water, it means there's a lot of plankton. If you have a lot of plankton, then you have a lot of fish or creatures that eat plankton. Then all the food chain comes around.
Exactly. I mean, all those hunting big barracudas,
Yeah.
they were all there looking to cut in, right?
And well, you promised to see a whale shark, isn't it? We booked.
It was whale shark conditions right there.
But you know what? Why I forgive you? Because as soon as we went down, we see this huge batfish.
Yeah.
The school of batfish that were even
They like you.
posing. Yeah,
They
posing.
were with you all the time.
Maybe they were female batfish. You know,
Yeah.
check it out.
All right, so we're pretty much digging up in a
Yeah.
1 hour and a half surface interval.
Yeah.
So we're good to go. We're good.
Good
to go.
enough. Yeah.
You wanna go?
Ready to rock and roll?
Let's go diving
Let's
then, yeah?
Let's go.
Let's go, man.
Woo. Are we divers or mice?
Here in Colipe, you can do at least 3 dives per day, and they can do quick adjustments for the dive itinerary just in case the waters are rough. Right now, we are going for a last dive for the day here in Thailand, which is Taru.
So the second dive, they're going to go to Koh Taru, which is this one. Taru means to see through in Thai. So if you actually come on the outside of Taru, there's a hole inside of the rock, and maybe you guys can see it later. And if you actually get the angle right, you can see Koh Lipe in the middle of it. And it looks like a nice postcard, which is quite cool. So you can see through the island. So there's a hole all the way through the island. And then it drops down, and on the southeast side is where the dive site is. So it's all hard coral. It's nice green cup corals everywhere. We sometimes have coral cat sharks that live under the rocks. So if you go with a torch and you start looking under all of the rocks, you can see sharks sleeping because they're nocturnal, so it's kind of nice. It's a bit like a bamboo shark. So they sleep underneath all the rocks, so you can go and find them. And there's a big school of yellow snapper, like hundreds of thousands of them, which is good. Hundreds, maybe thousands of them, which is quite nice. And what's really cool, if you swim really slowly towards them, you can get completely surrounded by the yellow snapper, which is nice. If you swim fast, then they think you're trying to eat them, so they swim away. If you swim really slowly towards them, then you can get completely surrounded by the snappers, and all you can see is fish, which is quite nice.
Very nice place, but we saw a lot of things. There was this big school of yellowtails. I don't know, man, thousands of them. And of course, corals, sponges maybe is the attraction, the big attraction of this dive site. Barrel sponges, very corrugated, but I saw even a very unusual thing. Instead of the classical cylindrical shape of these sponges, there's one that is the shape of an S. So the corrugated part that is filtrating part facing the current, probably the predominant current, and the other side, the exhaust side, on the other side. That's very unusual because it's a very specific adaptation to the environment, isn't it? Probably the current there is very constant. Because obviously, if the current comes the other way, that sponge is going to die. Probably, I'm right, Mr. Robin? All right. I have the support of the best instructor that I master here on this side of the planet. That is Mr. Robin. Also, he knows his way around the local bars. So we're going to check that area in the near future, all right?
Going back to Bangkok, we took the 18-hour train ride at the Hat Yai station to to Wa Lam Hong railway station.
Hachai. No, I didn't sneeze. Actually, Hachai is the name of the station, all right? So we catch a very strong rain on our way here.
Don't worry, because after you dive in Colipe, you can take enough sleep as the train seats are convertible to sleeping beds.
So I didn't know we have the privilege of an officer of the train fixing the dormitories here for us. So you want to see how it looks before? Take a look. Before and after. That's the Simpsons, you see? Before, after. Before and after. Okay. So it has this pretty nice stainless steel structure, also
For
in the
ladder.
toilets.
They become a ladder.
So you can go to the upper deck. Yeah,
So
upper
you have your
level.
privacy.
Privacy with curtain, everything very tidy, everything very clean.
For the food and drinks, there are vendors who will bring you everything you need on a plate that will cost you between 10 and 20 bahts. Traveling by train gives you a better view of the Thai countryside, just behind the windows. You can enjoy the scenery and the memorable trip on our way back to Bangkok. Traveling all the way to this little corner of the world, we received warm hospitality from the Adang Sea Divers. We gave reminders to the team as scuba divers who share the same passion and love for underwater wonders of creation. As ocean advocates, divers like you and me need to take a stand for marine conservation and protection. Let us report any environmental damage that we consider to the authorities. For it's the wondrous God's creation that makes you believe. See you at the dive.
It's the wonder of God's creation that makes us believe. See you at the dive. 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 See you at the dive.